Google announced their Android XR extended reality devices, bringing in a lot of new things to technology, the software, and just an overall platform. Right? If you think about what this can do for like school, that can really change the game for things like school. Like, how are they going to be able to monitor what you're seeing in your own screen that no one else can see? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Autonomous Income. And I'm your co-host, Deuce Noble.
I'm your co-host DJ. What's going on?
Man, DJ, we got some cool stuff to talk about today and a little bit of new tech that's been out a few weeks. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Looks like what we're going to talk about today, we're going to go over a little bit in depth of Google's new Android XR. I
Yep.
think it's going to be a pretty cool thing to talk about. It's their whole platform for their extended reality devices that's going to be coming out. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and dive in. What else? You got anything else you want to talk about, DJ?
No, man. I want to dive into this. This one hits home with us because Deuce and I worked on when we were at a certain corporation together. We worked on some augmented reality things and some of the cutting edge things like early on, and we're actually a part of
Man,
some patents
very.
with some pretty. We had some pretty solid teams working on some pretty cool work. So this one is just when Google announced this, and I know there's going to be more announcements. Meta has some devices, and of course Apple has their augmented reality. I always forget the name. The something Pro.
What, the Oculus?
No,
Or the
Apple.
Apple Vision Pro?
Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah,
There we
Apple
go.
Vision
Yeah.
Pro.
So I mean, a lot of people in this
Man,
space.
that thing, but I'm gonna tell you this, you haven't heard much about it lately, have you? That thing, $3,000, I'm gonna tell you, they tanked in the fourth quarter because of
Oh
that.
yeah, I mean that's an expensive
Ain't no
device.
way.
Yeah, but just going back, like
I mean,
this is a passion thing because Deuce and I have worked with it before. So I mean, of course, anything like this new, we want to make sure that you guys are aware of it and just kind of understand what's coming out there in the market. I think they've announced it. I'm not sure if the hardware is shipping yet when it comes to Google's XR
right.
with what they
Yeah.
have, but yeah,
And we'll get into that a little bit. So, of course, last month in December 2024, Google announced their Android XR. Basically, like I was stating, it's a new operating system designed explicitly for extended reality devices, or for short XR, right? Which is bringing in a lot of new things to technology, the software, and just an overall platform. In essence, you can think of it as Android for VR headsets and AR headsets, right? So virtual reality headsets is going to include this software, as well as augmented reality headsets, which Google has partnered with Samsung as well as Qualcomm to develop some of the first headsets coming out. Now, DJ, man, this thing, it seems pretty cool, right? Whole platform specifically for these devices. I can only imagine how this can take off, right? Because you got to think,
yeah,
Google's platform or software, OS for devices that we currently hold every day has really taken the world by storm, right?
yeah,
You got to think, Android is one of the most used software OSs, mobile software OSs in the world, right? Apple's very popular, but you got to think in, third world remote countries, a lot of them can't really afford the whole Apple ecosystem and they go to Android devices. So Android XR is really kind of that next wave for these type of devices.
yeah. I mean, like if you go Ready Player One, right, and all these things. If you look at in the future, a lot of sci-fi movies and all this other things. Augmented reality is definitely where things are heading towards, right? I mean, you're gonna have AI, and the good thing with this is with Google's XR is that they're attaching Gemini. Gemini is kind of going hand in hand, which is their large language model that they have that they keep scaling and improving on. But with Gemini, being able to look and have conversations real time about like what artwork is this, and having scaling your screen there and asking it to
Which
create
is
certain things for
insane,
you. That's
right?
just like the application of that is just crazy. So you can be anywhere.
That's
There's examples of, going to a restaurant and, it can navigate you to certain places, like you can just kind of, and it gives you like exactly where to go in augmented reality. And then also if you go to a restaurant, then it can, be your interpreter basically for you. So you can ask it like, what's the hottest thing on the menu, like the spiciest thing, and then it can kind of tell you back and forth. They give different types of examples, but I think
super
that's
dope.
really cool.
No, I think including Gemini, incorporating Gemini with the software layered, embedded in there, it's really going to stand out because of how you can use the visual and auditory inputs, right? I mean, you got to think, like you said, this is something out of a sci-fi movie like Minority Report or even Iron Man with the heads-up display, right? And I think one of the Iron Man movies he had in his glasses. So you got to think, walking around with glasses on, like you said, this is an augmented reality device, right? At this point, it's glasses, which is a headset we'll talk about a little bit later that Google is going to bring out with that's going to be first to market with Android XR, right? These glasses look normal to the regular person, but the person who's wearing them, they can see all of these inputs coming up on their screen. They can see, like you said, the walking directions, right? The instant translations of different languages, right? So this is something that I think that's really going to not only change the game, but really transform how we live everyday life.
Yeah.
I can remember, man, look, I had to break out the old case and find the old VR headset that Google made. This is the Google Daydream. I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember this, DJ, but this came out, I don't know, 2016, 17, the one that has the remote. The
Yeah.
Google Daydream was definitely one of the cool VR headsets that came out because all you needed to do was just insert your phone in it. You didn't have to have anything bulky, anything charged. Make sure your phone is in it, and you link the remote control to your phone via Bluetooth, and you have a VR headset, right? I think, in my opinion, something like this, the Daydream, is going to come back, right? Because you don't have to have any extra hardware. You have your phone, you have just some goggles, you put it in there, and that's that. Something like that is going to come to market soon, I think. I don't know. What
I
do you think?
think one, I just can't believe that it's been that long. But yeah, those were all across the office. I remember, like, we had those and we were playing around those, like in the innovation areas and everything like that. So it was super cool. I don't think that those will come back because I think that the new hardware will be glasses. I think everybody's really trying to push the tech to get smaller. So like, you'll use glasses. I do think that I think it's going to end up being, I don't know if they'll have one device that can do both because, right, you have virtual reality and we have
That'll
augmented
be
reality.
hard.
Yeah, and like, so I know there's some solutions like they have where you can
Well,
like
to your point,
put
though,
shades on and do certain things like that, but I just don't know, if one device will do that. I think it'll be two devices at least for the time being.
yeah, to your point, though, I think if we talk about, I mean, Ready Player One is one of my favorite movies as well.
Yeah,
If you talk about how they are using a VR device in Ready Player One, I mean, it's almost scary because I mean, there's several movies that emulates this type of virtual reality. But
yeah,
if you really look at, hey, people live their life in this oasis, right? This virtual oasis,
yep.
whereas like they have these headsets, right? You're not really walking around, in real life. But even if you do, this is one of the things that's could change the game. Like, I think so. If we're going to translate a little bit or transition a little bit, mind you, we could talk about some of the upcoming devices that are already
Yeah,
on the slate and on the docket to come out. We have Samsung's Project Muhan, I believe, and that is going to be the first device to run Android XR. It will be a mixed reality headset. So, like you said, DJ, one of those headsets that you can do the augmented as well as a virtual reality. So it might look like glasses. They might not. They might be able to pass through regular imagery. So, well, actually, it says they have advanced pass-through capabilities for those mixed reality experiences, right?
yeah,
So I think that's going to be really cool. And then also Google's future AR glasses. And I don't know if you remember, probably around that time, 2015, 16, well, more like 17, 18, I think. Google had the Google Glass, those Google Glass
yes.
glasses that came out, right?
And they were
That
super,
they had
super
to
early
ban.
on that. You remember, like
They
they
were
were
too
really,
early,
really early. Like I think with
way too
Google,
early.
like we brought up Stadia last time, like they were just
Yeah,
really early, which is good. That means their innovation department is cooking, right? But it is hard to time that because I remember as a young product manager working on something, and I was trying to get ahead of. We were trying to build an app for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and we were like wanted to be the first, whatever institution in the vehicle, right? Like so you can have an app for that, and like we're trying to map that all out, but we were super early. Once we looked at the data, you could like there was only like at that point in time there was only so many cars that had it on the road. Now it's like all the cars, right? But we were just super early, so when we were trying to launch it, it just wasn't right with the timing. But if we really push for it, like now it would be at scale, right? And it'll be a thing. So if they wanted to bring it back, the good thing is like sometimes it's not all just wasted because you can go back to what you had before and then you can make it better and then build it and then be able to scale it to the masses now. So yeah.
I think with that though, one of the things that's going to be cool with the Android XR is their ability to have support across their platform, right?
Yes.
It includes support for all applications, well, a wide range of applications
Hmm.
across your mobile devices, your tablets, and everything, right? So the Google Play Store will be compatible with everything from your phone, your tablet, probably Android Auto as well, Android and also Android TV. All those apps are going to be compatible. So it's going to they're creating this ecosystem that's really going to propel some of this technology forward. So it'll be cool to see, I know Google has partnered with Samsung and Qualcomm,
Yep.
especially to create their flagship devices, but it'd be cool to see some of the other manufacturers, what they create with this software, right? Because,
Yeah,
like you
that's true.
said, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got Motorola out there. I mean, there's tons of companies, but just to name a few, like the Motorola, the Hitachi phones, I think it's Hisense, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Xiaomi, there's a
Samsung,
bunch
we
of
got
different types.
Nokia. I mean, there's still quite a few of devices that's going to
Rest in
have
peace,
the
Nokia.
opportunity to do that. Even on this point, go on to a developer keynote for this, right? So a lot of this creation, of the immersive experiences, it supports a lot of the same tools that's been around for a while. AR Core, Android Studio, Jetpack Compose, Unity, and OpenXR are all going to be able to use some of the be used as development tools for
Hmm.
Android XR. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. You're going to probably really be able to adapt to those devices pretty efficiently and kind of get off and running.
Yeah.
So I know Google's developer conferences are going to be pretty sweet this coming
I
year.
think it's cool. I mean, if you get into the info sec, like the security sector, like, it's pretty cool also, like having glasses and you can like look and only see your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you could be watching something completely different, like, than somebody who's next to you or whatever. And it's on your own personal screen, like having that in your
Right.
glasses in augmented reality. So also being able to see the space, because we just did virtual reality. My boys had a birthday party. So we took them to this like virtual reality place and it was really cool. But it was at one point like where they give you the equipment and they're around you. And at the end of it, we took our stuff out and like the kids were like recording us. Like it's like they were with us and they had already been done with their game. So we finished ours and they were recording us and they were laughing because I had to do some silly stuff at the end. But I'm just like I was like, man, I couldn't even see them doing that. So who knows how we were looking, but. Like
Yeah,
I personally like augmented reality because I do want to interact with things and understand things, but I do want to be able to see the live world around me. Also, I'm sure there's a time and place to
but
be fully immersed, like Ready Player One. But for me personally, like I think for business applications, for other things, like it's really good to kind of have like multiple screens up, and you can kind of really do a lot of work. And this is just like with some glasses that are on your head. As the technology starts to shrink and shrink and shrink, and we kind of scale it. I think
right.
that's cool.
I think it's going to be really cool to see that, especially it's going to change the game for a lot of things. You got to think, but those mixed reality devices
Yeah.
are is really going to kind of take the cake, especially with the advanced pass-through capabilities. And I always think like this way, like not a negative perspective, but just, just being a devil's advocate, of course, right? If you think about what this can do for like school and how popular these devices get, how accessible it is to
Yeah,
have these devices,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah, I think let's say they start mass producing these devices, it becomes kind of the norm. These things could easily be within reach to regular people, and kids might start getting them, right? Getting their hands on them. That can really change the game for things like school. Like, how are they going to be able to monitor what you're seeing in your own screen
Yeah,
that no one else
well, I
can
mean,
see?
yeah, I don't think they'll be allowed.
You know what?
I don't know. That's something good to
Man,
speculate. Yeah.
but you got
Matter
to
of
think
fact, in the
about like
comments
things like
below, let us know
that.
your thoughts on that because I mean, like, I would like to hear what everybody else thinks because I just think that, like, even right now, I know teachers and some of them they have like this, where they used to put shoes in and you hold it on a door and it like you put shoes. They
Yeah,
use that, but for the
the
kids' cell
cubbies,
phones, yeah, or cubbies or whatever it is, it's the thing
whatever.
they put on
Yeah.
a door, yeah, and then basically,
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was talking
yeah,
to
I know
my
what you're talking
sons and
about.
they
I
were
know
just
what
like,
you're
yeah,
talking
you got to
about.
check your
Pocket
phone in.
holes.
So maybe they'll have watches, they'll have phones, like they'll just get
They
bigger and
got
bigger. Yeah, it's
all
like
AI
any
devices.
technology you got to turn that in before you head in the classroom because like
But also to that point though, now Google can start partnering, or these device
the
manufacturers can
schools, yeah,
start partnering with,
education
optical
program,
wear
yeah.
companies, right? And their optical lines. I mean, you gotta think like high-end Ray-Bans or something.
Well,
If you have some
Meta has
sunglasses
the
you
Meta
popped
Ray
out,
Bans. Meta has Meta Ray
huh,
Bans, so they're already doing.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You know what I
so
mean?
Meta
Like
has.
it's going to be up for grabs because that's kind of what happened with the smartwatch wave that came around the first time,
Yeah,
right? I think some of those high-end watch brands started to invest in some smartwatches Or not even that, but just on the software side,
Yeah.
they started, I think it was a few like Rolex, a few high-end watch brands would have digital apps that you can download watch faces, exclusive watch faces for,
Hmm.
but obviously you had to pay, that premium
Yeah.
price for it. Like it was a premium app price, which maybe it was 299 or 399, right? For these apps. So there's a lot of capabilities that can be used for the use cases of Android XR. So I want you guys let us know, what do you think your most creative use case for these devices might be?
Yep.
All right. I wanted to see, how creative you are, if there's something we haven't even thought of, because I guarantee you this is going to change the game for a lot of things, right, DJ? I think this is one of my favorite announcements so far, and it will just of late anyway, and I'm definitely going to keep up with it, especially Samsung's Project Muhan or Muhan and all the rest of the devices that are coming up.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of hardware. We'll definitely keep everybody informed, just of all the things that are coming out as they make these announcements. Like, because Google XR came, that announcement happened when there was just a lot. OpenAI, had a lot of
Right.
announcements, and just everybody's firing off on all cylinders. There was announcements recently also about a new open source model that's challenging, or that's, has the same performance as OpenAI's O1 model. So we'll definitely be talking about that and kind of going over there, because every time when there's open source, it just increases the competition, it lowers the cost, because even access to their API, apparently the output basically is like, the cost is less. Is just the easier way to say it is, it's like there's less cost associated with using that since it's open source. And just, either way the case is, like, I think that that'll be great as we start seeing that progress, because we'll be able to leverage that as consumers, as users, and also our business owners that are out there, being able to kind of upgrade your own tech stack, leveraging these newer models and newer capabilities, especially the ones that are open source. And that way you don't get left behind, because what we do see is, like, a lot of these small businesses are starting to incorporate AI into their tech stack, right? So some automation, some social media things that they have going on. So that's what I geek out about, just, helping those small businesses out with getting scaled up with AI. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, we will keep you with all the things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, we'll keep you guys afloat as we start to learn new things. We want to bring it to your attention. But yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let us know, kind of how you guys are feeling about these episodes, and we'll bring more content like this to you guys weekly.
for sure. We'll see y'all out there. Peace.
All right, peace.